But in terms of mimetic warfare, I think Bitcoin's done such a good job just controlling the narrative. There was this article that Akshay had from Solana Foundation had shared with us from Michael Goldstein called "Meming Bitcoin to the Moon," where he talks about like
Yeah.
the art of mimetic warfare and using memes relentlessly to define and control the narrative. And just Bitcoin has done such an amazing job just building this army of supporters who just constantly trump these like catchy three-word memes like Bitcoin fixes this or number go up or orange coin good. And
Mm.
they're just relentless and they frame everything as being good for Bitcoin and just sort of
Yeah.
have successfully kept other people from controlling the narrative so that when stuff like the censorship of this Canadian trucker donations or whatever it was happen, like they can just move it back to, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
keep it positive and just focus on Bitcoin's value proposition. And,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of what's driving that is just like the price, right? Because so long as
Mhm.
people are getting rich, they buy into it. Like it just sort of like justifies the asset, the value of the asset.
I like that article from Goldstein. What I ultimately care about is truth, right? So even if you have all these memes, like, and that's like a problem with social groups. Like, you have to find a consensus, and that often comes at the sacrifice of of the truth. So, um, even though you might like have all these clever memes, like the biggest in the world is the ignorance tax. So I don't like, if I'm like so bogged down with Bitcoin's memes or any sort of memes, right? Any meme coin or any like other coins, mimetic warfare on me, and I'm not able to think critically about these things, then maybe I'll miss like Zcash, which might be the next 1000X or some other coin, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so like it's interesting how like that in-group culture can sort of like disable your critical faculties, but you really want to be an individual and sort of think these for yourself. Um, so so yeah, like ultimately, I just want to know what's actually going on and what's right, and always like criticizing. So even with Zcash, like, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong, right? Like obviously it's not perfect, and maybe it's never going to be perfect. Nothing's ever perfect. Um so yeah, like if there's anything wrong, like what I should be on the lookout for, and what maybe like people in the Zcash community should be on the lookout for, like developers should be on the lookout for, just so we don't have big problems later on. Because if any error gets entrenched, like it just like causes greater damage later on. So if you see an error, just like correct it right there.
Yeah. So I guess the strongest or most compelling memes that communicate Zcash's value proposition are things like you said, the machinery of freedom, unstoppable private money, privacy is normal.